Good morning. Welcome to Bowtie Life. I'm Bowtie Dave with a bow tie. Can you hear that bird up there? He is happy, happy, happy. Just singing his song. Anyway, today starts the garden tours, the monthly garden tours for September of 2023. And this is our 23rd month living here at the new property, and next month will be the 2-year mark. And so next month I got to do something special with the video garden tour. Still have to figure that out, but anyway, so for today we're going to start with the front and side garden tours. The next video, part 2, is always the outer beds in the backyard, and the part 3 is the inner beds, the raised beds in the backyard. And it's my monthly record. This is my personal log, so really these videos are for me, but you are welcome to join along and see how it goes and how it progresses, because things are progressing. Last month in August, of course, the topic was a little more depressing as everything was getting overgrown. Things were not producing. It was looking rough, but now our weather has just started to turn, and we are at a point now where our forecast has very few days over 90 degrees. In fact, right now the 10-day has everything at or below 90 degrees as the high. And right now we have a very nice cloud cover. Almost every afternoon from the let's see, that would be northwest, we get this subtropical storm system. About half the time we actually get maybe a little bit of rain from it. Rest of the time we don't get anything from it. It peters out as it comes across the Choctawhatchee Bay. But the weather is turning, and it's great because things are starting to grow. And so I've been taking the opportunity to start some of the spring stuff. But let's get into it and start taking a look at what's going on in the garden for September 2023 as the weather just starts to turn nice. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. So every month I go in the same order, and we're going to have this little map of the property here in the lower corner. And the neighbor's horn's going to go off. And anyway, so this map, the top is the back of the property, the bottom is the front, and there's a red circle right now in the lower left corner that shows the lower left corner of the property. That's the road right there. There's the zombie wood chip pile that will be disappearing for the most part in this winter. Oh, we have a monarch butterfly down in there somewhere looking for some pollen off of some of the weeds. So anyway, the strawberry patch, and if you follow the channel, you know we recently started recovering the strawberry patch, and you can see how overgrown it's gotten. Biggest problem has been that we have been traveling a lot this summer. We sold our cabin in Arkansas and had to go up there a few times, and then took a cruise. And so a lot of things got severely neglected. Oh, there comes our son. But anyway, so this was just all grass. Everything you see where the dark soil is and the leaves, this was all grass. And so we got it cleaned out. And you can see we have strawberry plants in here still going. Now, this is nowhere near as thick as they used to be, but they're still here. And you can actually see, like right here, this is the crown of a strawberry plant right here. And I'm hoping it has enough roots that it will come back. There are some crowns. In fact, if I go over here, there is a crown right down in here that has some leaves coming out the bottom right there, and out this edge over here. But I've been very carefully pulling weeds, trying to keep this thing a little bit better in control for the past, I guess I started about 24 hours ago. So the lizards have, and I don't know if you can see the lizard right over there creeping through. The lizards love it when I do this because it rustles up their favorite bugs to eat, and they will literally come walk right over to where I'm working and eat a bug just right out of my hand practically. I've never had one quite eat out of my hand, but it's pretty close. You can see this is a patch of all strawberries. We are going to be reworking this winter and making this into a real strawberry patch, something that's a lot more organized. And of course, if you follow me much, you know I am not much for organization, so we'll see how that goes. If nothing else, it'll be worth the entertainment value of seeing me try to get organized in my ADD brain. So this is a basil plant, and I still am going in here and pulling off the seed heads for these. I believe we can still get more life out of these. And see, this is right here. That's a seed head. And if you come underneath, and you see the little leaves right underneath here, right there, so I can get the camera pointed right, there's going to be new branches. And when I pull this, it's going to send a signal back down here to start growing 2 branches. So this thing will start bushing out. And that's how it becomes so bushy like this. It's not, I have some others that we'll see here in a little bit of there that are far more bushy, but anyway, but yeah, the basil all over the property is doing really well. Back here we have 2 jalapeno plants. This one just got harvested. It looks a little peaked. And this one here, you can see there's new buds on it. So new growth, new buds. It's getting ready to start coming out. We have some chocolate mint down there that's looking good. And the pomegranate trees are looking strong. Well, this one is. The rest are dying. And down here we have our rosemary plant, one of our rosemary plants. I've planted several of these so far. I did get it a little mixed up in the weed eater, unfortunately, but it's growing strong. This will be its place to live, and I'm very happy with this place. So right next to it here we have the Plumeria, and the Plumeria now, and if you watched before, we had some flowers coming up from this stem right here, and might even have one more, but we now have 3 stems coming up here, and they're getting ready. Let's see, I step in here, and I think it's in here. Yeah, I think this right here is getting ready to start some new flowering tips. I don't see it on the other 2 here, but that one looks like it might. Maybe by next month we'll have some more buds off of this thing, off our Plumeria. I do need to get this replanted. I'm thinking it'll probably end up, if not in this corner, then pretty close nearby. So the brown turkey fig in the front here, still in the pot. This is a pretty big fig that it grows. We do have one down here. I'm really not expecting it to develop, but I'm gonna give this guy a chance. I did pull one other off of this to make it focus on that. I do check these every once in a while when these leaves are not producing any more energy for the plant. You do that and it'll just fall right off. So that's how I check it. I do need to get this thing, I want it to go a single leader up to a certain point, and then I will get it to fork out. Up here by the front door we have our mums, and this one's looking a little peaked. It's starting to droop a little bit. I did just change the watering habit on our irrigation system. I wonder if it's suffering because of that. You'll notice that I did trim the hedges. They are looking somewhat in control. I am the world's worst at keeping hedges trimmed, but on these mums though, look, you can see there's just about to be new buds coming out in there. I'm very excited to see this thing bloom again for the 2nd year. Another fig tree. This is not a brown turkey fig, but it's getting big. It's looking beautiful. The fellow from whom the cuttings that grew this came from, he is losing his tree, and it's a big tree, and so I may be taking some cuttings from this and trying to start new fig trees in case he loses his in the next year or two. He will have the exact same, a clone of the exact same tree on his property. So we did have one small sunflower growing here, and obviously it didn't last long. Did okay, but not really. It was too, I haven't taken care of it, obviously. So working our way around the other side here of this bed, we have a orange bell pepper, which I actually have picked a couple of small ones off of here, but you can see we got some new buds on here, so we might get another round before it decides to peter out on us. There is a yarrow down inside here I'm going to have to rescue. I've been pulling the grass off as I can to save this yarrow, but it's actually doing really good. It's in there strong, and it's a yarrow is a perennial, so it grows year after year, and if I can get those roots in good and strong, then it'll do good. Another perennial that I have underneath here, or had underneath here, well, there's one left right here, is this artichoke, green globe artichoke. And this will come back year after year, and it will make artichokes. Now, artichokes that you eat, that's a flower, it's a big flower, and this will develop those. And I had 5 in here. You can see there's one right there that's looking kind of in bad shape, which I don't think we're going to keep. And the problem here is the same mistake I made last year. I planted these in the spring, and Kevin Espiritu over at Epic Gardening, he also owns Botanical Interest Seed Company. He reminded me just a few weeks ago, I was supposed to plant these in the fall, so these get a good foothold over the winter. And by spring, when it starts getting hot again, then they start to produce. So I have some seeds coming from Botanical Interest, incidentally. And we're going to do some of our fall seed starting here probably this week sometime with the artichokes. We're going to do some more lettuce. We have some, I think we're going to try some broccoli, maybe cauliflower, onions. I'm learning something about onions now. I'm still learning. We're coming down halfway through on my 4th year of gardening, and I'm still learning. And from what I understand, I'll always be learning. But underneath, somewhere under there, let's see, here, no, under here is a dead and gone green globe artichoke right there. That's a dead and gone green globe artichoke. There's another one up under there, which I am sure is long dead and gone. Oh, looky there. Hey, little fella. He's growing some new growth right there. I might try to rescue that. And then there's supposed to be one more right. Oh my goodness. Looky here. There is new growth down here. Okay, so maybe I won't have to plant as many as I thought I would. Look at there. There's some brand new growth on that green globe artichoke. Okay, that's kind of cool. These ones that didn't have protection, that's some I just noticed over in the strawberry patch. Some of those strawberry plants that were protected under the grass seem to be doing okay. So I wonder if that's a method to help things survive our hot part of the summer. Interesting. Now, this one here had no protection. It seemed to be doing, I say it had no protection. We're directly underneath our American sycamore tree we'll look at here in just a second. The sunchoke wall is this green right here. This is, some call it Jerusalem artichoke, sunchokes, sunroot. It's a native to America, to the Americas, and it develops a tuber that is good to eat for diabetics. It doesn't increase glucose levels in the blood, and it tastes just like a potato. Yeah, just like it. I mean, it's amazing. So anyway, that's all sunchokes, and those are in pots because those are highly invasive. We actually planted them here last year, and there are still some, like this right here is a sunchoke coming up from a tuber that I left last year. I see a couple of more up inside there that I will need to address because they will grow like crazy next year. So the trees, the American sycamore, I want to make note of this. This is my own journal. of what, because I go back and I look at these regularly, and notice we are in middle of September and we are starting to get brown leaves in here and are starting to drop leaves. And so I don't remember it being this early last year when it was doing that, but here it is, September 16th, and it's starting to drop its leaves, and it's 80 something, upper 80s right now, and you can see the dark clouds behind there. But yeah, that's kind of, and they're not as bright green as they had been. I wonder if it's the temperature, or maybe it's just had lived long enough and it's ready to give up. Now the bark, you'll notice the bark is real mottled. That's how the American sycamore looks. It grows new bark, it sheds the bark, it grows new, it just constantly doing that. That's just part of its life cycle. The Crepe Myrtles are coming down to the end of their blooming up at the top. These berries are what's the result. And this is a persistent crepe myrtle, which means the berries stay on until the birds eat them. They actually won't fall down on the ground and make a mess, which is very nice tree to have. But you can see up here, we still have buds up here on the edges, and it looks beautiful. The second tree bloomed a little later than the first, but it has some up at the top. I guess it had some up here on the, oh yeah, right there. There's one little cluster up in there, but very beautiful. I did trim this crepe myrtle already, and then the doomed decorative pear tree. Yes, I know, it's a decorative pear tree. It buds for about 12 minutes in the spring, and then it's gone. But here's the problem. It's not really adding anything to the garden. And the way the camera's facing now is the way the sun shines in the morning. And there's going to be 3 more garden beds in front of those 2 back there. There's going to be 3 more garden beds, and I want this to catch the morning sun during the summer. So this tree is going to have to come out. And I have no problem with that. It is kind of a scrubby tree. I am not pleased with it. It seems to serve no purpose other than maybe feed some bees for, like I said, 12 minutes. Very short-lived buds, and it is decorative, so it doesn't make fruit. Our cedar tree, juniper, the squirrels like eating the little berries off this thing. And of course, the other tree we have in the front here is the Pindo date, and the Pindo date is actually been producing dates, though I haven't been harvesting. You can see the yellow things up in there. Let's see if I can get you closer. The yellow things right there in the middle, that's the dates. These aren't the kind of dates that you get from overseas. These are a very pulpy. They have a lot of pulp in them. In fact, you can see massive clusters of them up there. You boil the juices out of them, and you can make jellies and wines out of it. It has a very interesting taste. I like it. We have a bunch in the freezer right now that I'm going to have to do something with. But there's the yellow is the fully ripe ones. The green ones here are coming, and if you look real carefully back behind there, you can see yellow flowers for the next one coming up. And so that's the 3 main stages. Eventually the squirrels eat them all, and those do fall. In fact, you can look down here on the ground below, and you can see here's one right here. Oh, that's a good one. So they have a very interesting flavor, and you can eat that. Just realize that you're going to be spitting out all that pulp in there. It's very pulpy, has a lot of pectin in it, and eventually it'll feel like you're just chewing on a ball of string. But you know, you chew the juices out, and that's what you do when you're boiling it to make jellies or whatever. That's what you're doing, is you're getting those juices out. So that's a tree update. So back over here behind the crepe myrtle, and you can see the dark clouds up there that are rolling in. Behind the crepe myrtles we have, and behind the sunchokes over there that we were just looking at, we have our front pollinator bed. And we had a lot of zinnias growing in here. We had some lilies. What else? Oh yeah, and the Egyptian walking onion across this side here. And they're starting to develop again. I've kind of got some of the grass cleared away so they can start popping out. Again, this Egyptian walking onion, it grows a stalk like this. It goes straight up, and on the end of it, oh my, we got another one here. On the end of it grows these little bulbules, and those bulbules touch the ground, develop roots, and become a new plant. So that's going to be a new one of these. And this is a great green onion. We actually come out when Mrs. Bowtie needs some green onions for cooking. We come out and cut a handful of these. We've actually dried these and made onion powder out of them. Really good onion, real good onion flavor. So got the whole row here. We have another bed in the backyard that I have not addressed yet, so I don't know how good. It may have some bulbules that, like you just saw over there, but those little bulbules will fall down to the ground. See if I can find another one here, because they're all over the place in here. Well, wouldn't you know it, right now I want, oh, here we go. That one has one little bulbule left. See right there? And once that hits the ground, I'll guarantee there were more on there. They probably fell off. I'm just gonna push that into the dirt. But somewhere up here, I actually pushed one into the dirt, and doesn't look like it took. Okay, yeah, I don't feel any onions in here. I'm not sure exactly where it was. Somewhere in here. No, I can't find it right now. But anyway, so those little bulbules just kind of develop, and it's called an Egyptian walking onion because they grow up, walk across your bed, and eventually they'll make a whole bed full of them. So you do eventually have to kind of keep them in control. And of course, the elephant in the room here, look at that big flower. Isn't this the most amazing thing? And it's aromatic too. It smells so good. This is an angel trumpet. You can see it's about 1 foot long, and it makes a lot of them here in the fall. We actually posted some photos of one a couple of months ago. Comes out with these flowers for a couple of weeks and looks beautiful. We got 1, 2, there's another one coming out right there. See underneath there coming out? And we've got another coming out underneath here. Here's another one that's all the way out. Isn't that amazing? These are angel trumpets. This is another one coming. There's another one over there we haven't seen. There's a couple more, 3 more in a row over there. And then down inside here, there's another one that's fully developed. But I just thought this was a neat flower. Very diverse, and our garden is, I'm trying to focus on yellow and purple when I can. And so I thought that was a really good yellow addition to the property. So coming around here, we have the Citronella plant. You'll have to go back and look at the short involving that. If you're on a device that does cards, you'll see a little link to it up in the upper right hand corner of the video. But this is a Citronella plant in a pot that I move around to places where I'm working when the mosquitoes are bad. Really, very nice. Another chocolate mint plant. Doing well. See, now these are the big leaves coming off the American sycamore, and these are great for compost. But underneath there will hide a weed. Get rid of that. I want these things to develop into all mint. So that's the front pollinator bed up there. I see this is a popcorn tree. These are one of the things I'm trying to fight, because if they get too big to pull out, they're a real pain. But see, now they're small enough, they're easy to pull out. So the back pollinator bed, which is on the other side of the American sycamore here, it is completely overgrown. Completely. Now there's still zinnias in there. There are still amaryllis. Hey, look at this zinnia. This is a beautiful zinnia. There are amaryllis in there that aren't going to bloom until next spring, of course. There is a Thai plant in there. That's another popcorn tree right there. Needs to be pulled out. Look, that's pretty big. This right here is something I haven't identified yet. It's new to me. It is growing big though. I wonder how hard. Oh, it comes out real easy. Looky there. Nice root system. I'm going to step in here and pull up a couple of these because these are just about to go to seed, and that's what you really don't want, which is why we have these in the first place, because I let something go to seed. And so what I do with these, shake off as much dirt as I can. And we have a plethora of trash cans up here. The black ones actually belong to my neighbor. I have 3 gray ones up the hill here, you'll see in a minute. But things like this with seeds about to pop out go off property. Our waste management team takes that away on Fridays. And see, he's got 3 cans here. I've got another 3 cans up there. So there can be as many as 7 cans out here with stuff on it. But that's the from the pollinator bed up there. And I need to identify that plant I just pulled so I can know what to expect and how aggressively I need to be pulling. But the main reason I've been leaving it is look at the little flowers on it. Remember what color I said I'm looking for? Yellow and purple? Well, these are beautiful little yellow flowers. It's the main reason why I hadn't really been too aggressive on taking these out, because I'll let them flower. The bees like them. We have bees, in case you haven't seen before. We have a bee box, which you're going to be surprised what it looks like now. That'll be in the second part. You'll notice there's not much lettuce. In fact, the lettuce, there's 2 plants left on this side right here, and there's just a little bit left. Most of them have bolted and are turning bitter. But again, we're going to be seed starting some more lettuce here pretty soon. So, all right, the tier beds. Of course, this is the first 2 of what will be a total of 5 tiers. And I am pretty sure that we're going to end up putting an arch trellis like this on the next 2 as well. It really did well for these. We started off here with sugar snow peas, and they did well. We've got beans growing up in here. Now, we started growing these beans back when it was very hot. Now, our weather since June has been over 90 degrees. So beans and tomatoes haven't been wanting to put on fruit. However, I'm not going to be able to find it now because I'm on camera, am I? However, oh, here they are. Looky here. Look at our first beans. I'm going to do them on camera with you. That right there and that right there. These were just little slivers yesterday when I looked at these. So that's our first beans. These are Blue Lake Stringless pole beans. And that's a sign that we're going to start getting prolific production out of these. Now, this is still under the American sycamore tree, so it doesn't get a lot of direct sun. So it's kind of an experiment to see how they do on this end. I don't expect a whole lot out of these, but they might surprise me. We'll see. Very little insect pressure. There's a little bit of eaten leaves here and there, but they actually look really good. The other end down here, this is exciting. For me, it is at least. There are 8, 4 there and 4 here, Roma tomato plants, Roma VF. And if you look closely, you see the little buds? Now, those buds weren't developing last month. This month, the weather has turned. As soon as we started hitting 92 and lower, no temperatures above about 92, these things started setting buds. Now, they would start buds before, but they wouldn't keep them. Now, this is the first time. These were planted back in the spring with all our other tomatoes in the back, which you'll see on the third part. But they were stuck in solo cups until after the sugar snow peas were done. And I planted them and they started to take off. So this, again, is another grand experiment. We'll see how they do, if they really produce a lot of Roma tomatoes. But, I mean, they're really putting on buds now. I was just very excited. Look, there's some. Come over here. Here's some more. Another one there. A few more up here. There's what's that? 5 there. Another 3 there. They're just everywhere starting to put on buds, and it likes this 50% shade cloth that I put over here. I keep tying them up. Looky here. Here's the highest bud I've seen yet. So anyway, I am very excited to see if we will get a Roma tomato harvest out of this finally. This will be our second year trying these. Last year we didn't do too well. Last year nothing went well because it was our first year growing here. We were just learning. So it was no surprise. Another chocolate mint plant here with a leaf flower plant in the middle. Pull that out. It's called leaf flower. Underneath every single leaf is a seed. Thank you very much. Here's my other cans over here. I just set it on top of there. A bird will get it maybe. I don't know. It'll die. It'll dry out. Outside here we have a lot more basil. Now some of these basil are really, I mean, look at the seed, the flower stalk on this. It is really growing tall, and they're not fully developed. I wonder how that, if it's affected the leaves yet. I don't know. It might start to affect the leaves. Let me know if you think will have affected the leaves. But we have one there, we have one there, we have one there, we have another one. There's 4 on this side. I think there's only 3 left on the other side, but they are growing prolifically. I've been pulling these flower heads off whenever I see them. Just take a few minutes to pop off a few flower heads, and again, just like the other one we looked at, underneath that flower head. In fact, I bet you we can find one we pulled off right here somewhere. Yeah, see right there? We pulled off one right there between, and look, there's new branches coming out already. So no telling when that, oh, looky here, here's another bean. Oh, first beans. I am so excited about that. So yeah, there will eventually be 3 more beds just like this going down toward the sidewalk down there. Coming around the side here at the front, we still have the asparagus patch with our single asparagus plant, which is this little fuzz right here. It is 2 years old now. Next year it will be 3, and we're hoping we can get something out of here. I do need to start taking off some of do a little more care. Again, I've been traveling a lot, so a lot of this stuff has been neglected, severely neglected, so that we've got to get back to the garden. So the asparagus, we have a couple more basil. And the reason why I'm growing so many basil is because they have a tendency to confuse pests, and we've done pretty good. I haven't seen a lot of pests in the garden. I have seen some ladybugs, which means there's aphids around. I have seen a single ladybug larva, a single one. So, but I have seen several ladybugs, so they're obviously around. We have another yarrow down here. This one doesn't get as much sun as I would like for it to, but it is actually, and it's never flowered. This one has never flowered, but you can see it's kind of crowded by grasses and such. So we need to obviously tend to that. But its roots, I mean, it's really rooted in good. So I'm very pleased about that. It's got a good root system this year. And hopefully, what is that? That's grass. So, now one thing I pointed out in the strawberry patch on that other video, where I was reclaiming my strawberry patch. See, these leaves right here, this is Dichondra. And Dichondra will make a beautiful mat, a ground cover mat. Real small, not even an inch tall, and it will act as a living mulch underneath there. And I'm gonna start experimenting with that. I just learned about that this past winter. So they don't grow prolifically in the summer unless they have established themselves, but my grass is covered with it. In fact, if I come down here and look at my grass closely, let's see, we've got dollarweed, we got little leaf flower in here, right there. There's Dichondra right there. So it's actually considered a weed by most, but it's edible. It's a detoxifier, so it's healthy, like in a salad or something. See, grass seed. I'll take that to the bin. I walk to this bin a lot whenever I'm out in the garden. But yeah, so, and then it also fights the dollar weed and a few other things when it grows a thick mat. So I'm gonna start trying to train it up. I actually discovered it back in this second bed right here, back in March, February, somewhere back in there, and was very impressed with it. So we'll have to see how that goes. We got some dark clouds moving in, as I've already mentioned. You'll notice the grapefruit tree is white, and I need to get to IV Organics and get their paint. I was told that I could use a watered down interior latex paint cheap, which is what I did to this. So that I was told that was safe for now, but I do need to get the real stuff to put on there. This is a pink grapefruit tree that died last Christmas in the freeze because I didn't know what to do with it for a freeze. And then of course the two Satsuma orange trees. Moment of silence. We've lost those. I'm very sad about that. Can you tell? It's very upsetting. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of tarping in this area. This is covered with wood chip. It got grown over quite a bit in my absence this past summer. So I'm doing some just overall killing off of weeds in a very friendly way. When you've got a lot of weeds, you need to get out, cover, and I didn't really have time. The biggest problem was I didn't have the time to get out here and clean them up. So I just put tarps over these. And you can see there's another one back over yonder. There's one here, two more back behind me here. They're just killing weeds for me. That's all, just killing weeds. Keeping the water off, keeping the sun off. The grapevines. Oh my goodness, can you believe how this grape arbor looks? This is cool, I think. Now, you know, I respect that some people like their gardens neat and tidy and everything in a row. That's not me. It really isn't. I love the look of a scrappy cottage garden that looks out of control, but everything is hidden in there. It's beautiful to me. And that's me. And you know, I know some people don't like that. Some people do. Well, this right here, this mess right here, is the grape arbor. I think we've got mostly scuppernong. We got a few very small bunches out of it this year. We got a lot of growth in here. I'm going to have to do some major trimming, but look, this thing, this has completely grown down the other side. It's swooping up here, coming back up. It did actually grow. In fact, you can see there, it's growing back toward the house again. I had to trim that back, keep it off the house. Where did this come from? Okay, cue the victory music, because looky here, we have grapes again. Oh my goodness. Two little bunches there, two little bunches over here. I did not see these coming. I'm looking around frantically now, wondering if I missed anything else, because what on earth? I have grapes again. I already have grapes. In fact, I had grapes right over here. In fact, you can see one of the little stems that the grapes were growing on right there. And there's another one right there. I had grapes, just small clusters of them, but I had grapes. Just enough to say I ate some grapes this year. But this is a solid mess. And yes, I plan on coming in here and cleaning it up and getting cutting out a lot of new growth, getting main growth going strong. And I still plan to add, these are cattle panels that are under here. You can see this right here. It's a cattle panel, 16 foot long by 50 inches wide. There's another one right there going over. I want to double the length of this. So another 100 inches of this stuff. would make me very happy. I cannot get over the fact that more grapes. Yes, they're little clusters. This is just over a year old. So the fact that I got anything off of this, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. Okay, looky here. There's another 2 grapes right there at the back end of this thing. Okay, well, now I know. I need not give up when I did. But see, this opening right here into the back, you can hear the rain probably. I'm underneath the grape arbor. It's dry. I just love this. This just gives me goosebumps walking out like that to the blueberries. Let me just look back at the grapes from the backside. Isn't that just amazing? I'm even thinking it's even more amazing now that there's actually more grapes than we got before growing out of it. So that's kind of cool. So this all down here, it was our seedlings for this whole year. In fact, you can see there's some Thai hot peppers growing there. I see some dragon cayenne peppers going there. The grapes are trying to take over it all. Over here, there were some tomato plants in here. I'm wondering if I can find one real quick. I'll bet that was one right there. But it's so overgrown. Just really use these as long as I needed them. Oh, hey, there's a basil coming up over here. Is this in a pot? It is in a pot. Look at that. How cool is that? I'm gonna leave that. I know, I'm gonna pop that off of there. That's interesting. I might have to plant those somewhere. I like basil. We don't eat much. In fact, we eat very little of it. I bet it's, with flower pods that big, I bet it's already gone bitter. But it feeds the wildlife. Okay, so over here at our grow bags, over here on the north side of the house, this is the side yard. That's a fatale, and I just harvested the last of the fatale off here, and I'm expecting this to die. This plant it may be 3 years old, but I know it's at least 2 years old. It may actually, no. Yeah, this may be 3 years old. Huh, okay. Wouldn't that be cool? So I don't think it's going to last. Pepper plants, they can last 3 to 5 years, kind of like a strawberry plant. But it's a fatale. We'll see if it grows another round. Like I said, I don't expect anything out of it. So we'll see. Jalapeno under here. There's actually grow bags under here that had stuff. I don't know what it was. They're kind of overgrown now. This was I think this was oh yeah, there's a Scotch bonnet pepper. So this was a Scotch bonnet pepper. There's a Citronella right here. Another Citronella plant from like the one in the front. It's kind of growing all over the place. Underneath here is look at that. That is a Chinese giant red bell pepper. Now it's in a grow bag, and in my experience, everything that grows in a grow bag is smaller than it grew out of the ground. So you can see there's actually one I tossed over there. It was just bad. It was nasty. Had insects inside it and everything, so I just tossed it over there for them to eat. Another Scotch bonnet. So that's some of the Scotch bonnet I gave to you, Allie, if you're watching. Be sure to click like on this video if you like their Scotch bonnet. They're hot. This is a jalapeno, of course. Underneath here, we have pomegranate trees. Anybody wants a pomegranate tree and they live close by, please contact me. I've got quite a few of them growing down here. Let's see, that's the jalapeno. I'm not sure what this one here is. Waiting for it to provide some fruit. Oh, is that what is that? Might be a jalapeno. I'm not sure. Another citronella plant. Okay, so there are 3 here. 1, 2, 3, I think. Okay, so I have 3 citronella plants. I need to start propagating those. There is a grow bag down under here that has these jalapenos that are being overgrown by the grass. This St. Augustine grass just covers everything. It's wild. I like the St. Augustine grass when it grows where it's supposed to. I don't dislike it when it's over here, but so there's a jalapeno. Just fell off that jalapeno plant. Down here we have some mountain mint, or what I'm calling mountain mint. These are poinsettias. I used to believe that poinsettias were a really good trap plant for whitefly, and I am changing my tune to that. So we have some, I believe, some wandering Jew and another plant under here that I'm still needing to identify. I'm waiting for them to do something so that I can identify it. But yeah, see, look at there. No, I don't see any whitefly coming out of that poinsettia. This is supposed to be a bag of potato, and could that possibly be one growing there? I think I put one here and one here. I think I put them even with the handles, but I don't know. That might be one of them popping up. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of keeping an eye on this grow bag here. I planted 2 Yukon Gold in here back on July 27th. So we're ending up back here next to the blueberry hedge, blueberry patch, I guess. It's about 20 feet deep. It's about 25 feet wide, kind of triangular shape. A lot of blueberry plants in here, but I have been pulling these vines, tie vine, I think is what it's called. I'll put up a picture on the screen of the of what my plant net app says. But anyway, you can see here, it has just been, oh, hang on. It's just been prolific, and I've been pulling this stuff off in massive balls regularly, at least once a week. And I stick these, of course, down in the cans. But so that jalapeno that just fell off, let me see if I can close the video off after I've eaten this. Ready? Uh-oh. Just just a jalapeno. Okay, that won't be bad. But yeah, so that's the front and side garden. Things are growing, and it's wonderful that the temperatures are dropping now. Ooh, steaming up my glasses. It's wonderful that things are starting to grow now. I'm excited to see some beans and hopefully some tomatoes here real soon. Ooh, it's a jalapeno, pretty standard jalapeno. Nothing unusual. It was good flavor. We will be doing a seed starting video pretty soon after this comes out. You'll see a seed starting video for the, let's see, I know the green globe artichokes, another tray of lettuce for indoors, maybe some broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, onions, some other stuff that I'm going to try at the right time of year this time. I'm still figuring that out. My timing is still terrible, so we'll have to get to a point where I can get my ADD brain to remember when I'm supposed to do things. So anyway, things are growing though. Stay tuned for the backyard. It comes in 2 parts. And we have the outer beds and we have the raised beds in the backyard. And there's a few things happening back there, some good things growing, and some things that I wish would grow a little faster, but I don't think we're going to get them unless the weather stays good for a longer time. We'll have to see. You'll have to watch in the next one. So you don't miss any of the garden tours, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Fuzzy brain, a little bit of jalapeno in my mouth. But yeah, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything coming up. And If you thought this was inspirational, educational, informational, or just entertaining, watching me fumble around the front garden, please click the thumbs up, share with your friends on social media. All these things help. They're free things, free things you can do to help grow the community. And I don't believe the community is just the bow tie life community, though I want to grow that, but it's the gardening community overall, because we are getting such a humongous resource for gardening on YouTube right now. It's just very exciting because I watch a lot of YouTube. In fact, if Mrs. Bowtie isn't home, I'm probably have YouTube playing on the TV if I'm in the living room. And so, or if I'm getting ready in the morning or whatever, I'm watching YouTube. And it's all gardening and homesteading videos. There's a lot of great information, a lot of great presenters. Get out there and find people that speak to you. Some people won't speak to you. You're like, I don't like that guy's personality. There's one guy that I watch that Mrs. Bowtie will, she will walk out of the room if I put one of his videos on. It's a great way to get rid of her if I need to. But I will not admit to using that tactic publicly. Anyway, you know, find the ones that talk to you. Find the ones that speak to you. Find the ones that you can relate to. There are so many out there doing it. It's very cool. It's just very exciting, the time we live in. It's a great tool to have. And so use it. Learn to garden. It's anybody can do this. Anybody. If I can do this, you can do it. Trust me. I'm still figuring it out. And I'm the only reason why I'm getting so much to grow now is because I grow about 3 times more than what I have room for. So that grape arbor that's right behind the camera right now, I have enough grapevines on that 5 foot, 4 foot, 4.5 foot arbor for something 4 times that size or bigger. So that's how I'm having success, is just growing like crazy. But anyway, so yeah, there's stuff going on back that you haven't seen yet. So be sure to follow along on the backyard, on the outer beds and the raised bed videos coming up. And thank you for joining me on my personal garden vlog. This is my own record of what's happening in the garden. I look back at these a lot. You'll notice there's a lot of indexing on these videos, and that's why, because I go and look at those, I build those indexes for me so I can go find out, okay, what did such and so look like last year this time? Did it look like that or whatnot? But most of the time it didn't. So anyway, trying to do something special next month for our 24th month, our 2-year mark living here on the garden tour. I have a few ideas, but we'll have to see what happens in editing. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you're still watching, appreciate it very much, more than I can say. And, you know, have a blessed day.